Hi everybody, this is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. Just coming to you today to check something else off my list. I got my eggplants started. I started them in the same little toilet paper holders that I started some of my tomato plants. That seems to be working out okay. I'm going to show you how those are going in just a minute. But I got those done today. I feel like I'm getting a few things done around the house, a few things in my garden, and it feels really good. And it's so funny because it's not just the gardening things you have to do when you start a business. It's not just worrying about seeds and potting soils and starting plants and all that kind of stuff. There's all kind of things to do. And today I actually had to call the Department of Revenue in Louisiana to get them to help me with a problem because I've never gotten any information from them since the state automatically applied for my sales tax license back in July of 2021. Never got anything from them, so didn't know my account number. Couldn't really do anything online on their website because of that, so I had to call them today. And it's so funny, it reminded me of something. I was working with a lady one time, and I told her, I said, my husband and my son are going to a ball game tonight. I said, I'm going to have the whole house to myself. And I said, I think I'm going to move everything and mop my kitchen. I said, I just feel like mopping my kitchen and den with nobody home. And she was like, that wasn't what I was expecting you to say. She said, I was expecting you to say you were going to color your hair and watch a movie or something like that. She said, mopping your kitchen? I said, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I said, but when I get the house to myself, I said, I think of doing things like that. Well, that's what happened today. My husband's friend called and said, I'm going to come pick up Richard and take him riding. And they ended up staying on our property on our side-by-side, but they're out riding right now. And so Richard's good, and I had a little time to myself. And I said, I'm going to call the Department of Revenue. And it's so funny because I thought about it later, and I'm like, man, I should have took a nap. I never get this time by myself. I should have done something fun, turn the TV on. But my mind just can't think that way right now. My mind is thinking still, no matter what, about what I have to do to get ready for this spring, which I just feel like is knocking right behind me right now. It's knocking. It's wanting to come in. So I called the Department of Revenue to get that ticked off my list. I can't go to my parish, which we don't have counties in Louisiana. We have parishes. So I can't go to my parish office to get my sales tax stuff in order without a Louisiana Department of Revenue sales tax number for the state. So I had to call them today, and sure enough, I had one. They just never sent it to me. And so I got it. So I'm on board now. That'll be another day out of my garden that I'll have to go to my parish because everything here is pretty much still done, face to face at the little buildings in the small town that's the parish seat. So I'll go there probably next week and get that all straightened out. I might even do it tomorrow. I just feel like clicking things off my list so bad. So I might go do that tomorrow. But I'll have my state tax in order. I'll have my parish tax in order. And, I'll be ready to get going here in the spring. But one thing that I needed to get done was starting these eggplant seeds. I hope they germinate well. I'm having good luck with what I'm doing now. There's a few that aren't, but of the tomatoes. But my bell peppers have started coming up today. I had always heard it was kind of hard to germinate bell peppers and all, and they are slower than the tomatoes. But when I woke up this morning, there's some popping up. So I'm so excited. And the tomatoes that are popping up, I guess they look how they're supposed to. I did start some seeds in the ground over the last couple of years of tomatoes, and these look like that. So I guess they're okay. I was a little bit worried that, I had done something kind of wrong and they were already coming up kind of leggy looking, but I think they're okay. I think they're just little, and I think that they'll sprout their second sets of leaves or something at some point, and I think it'll be okay. So I'm just going to try to let that go too, and it'll work out how it's supposed to work out. Let me show you what I did with my eggplant seeds. I actually have 8 little things of Iroquois melon seeds in there with that. I wanted to have a full tray so that things wouldn't fall over in the tray. So I went ahead and put 8 Iroquois melon plants in there. I can direct seed melons around here. Our soil is really warm, and I'm gonna do that. I didn't have a lot of seeds left over. I used 16 in those things because I put 2 in each one. So I probably only had about 10 seeds left over. And I'm gonna go ahead and just plant those in the ground too, and let them come up. And, if I end up with a whole lot of Iroquois melons, I do. There's no problem with that. They're like a cantaloupe, or they are a cantaloupe, I guess. They're considered a melon, a muskmelon. They're not considered a true cantaloupe, which I'm learning about all of that too, because a lot of them look so similar, but they are pretty looking. So I'm hoping they come out good. I'm hoping I can sell some of those. I have grown some cantaloupes before. Didn't think I could, but I did. I put them in the ground 2 years ago and ended up being able to eat cantaloupe. So anyway, I'm excited to get those going. And I'll just kind of wrap this up and show you how it's going with my seed starting. Quick video, just wanted to check in. Thank you so much. Okay, here's what I started. I started some Satsuma long eggplants, which are these right here. And they are from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. I started some Florida high bush eggplants. I got those seeds from Seed Savers. And I'm going to do a few of the Turkish orange eggplants. I got these seeds from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, an heirloom. And then the muskmelon I was telling you about is my Iroquois melon. See how it looks pretty much just like a cantaloupe. I bought a book on melons. I'm going to try to get in my mind what the differences are between cantaloupes and muskmelons. I think the muskmelon is the overarching family, and then cantaloupe is like a branch of that. So I need to learn as much as I can about that. I didn't realize when I was picking out my seeds that I had, 3 different companies, but I think that's good. I like to try the seeds from different companies to just kind of see how they germinate, see how they do. With my tomatoes, I have a whole variety of companies in there. But these are my Satsuma longs. My hands are kind of dirty from working with all this. But these are the Satsuma longs. I just put little abbreviations on there that kind of help me. TOE, T-O-E. Those are the Turkish orange eggplants. These 2 rows right here in the middle are the Iroquois melons. And then over here, FHB is the Florida high bush. I think I have 8 of those, 8 Iroquois melons, 4 Turkish orange, and 5 Satsuma longs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover those in just a moment with the plastic wrap. And then I'm going to put them over here on this part of the heat mat. These little heat mats are doing fine. They don't get extremely hot, but they're doing fine. I felt the bottom of some of these toilet paper holders a while ago, and they are just slightly warm under there. It's helping the germination rates. Now, let me pull this out a little bit so you can see it. What I did was I took all the tomatoes that had germinated really well, and I put them at this end of my container so that I could hang it off of that heat mat. The heat mat's not long enough for this tray and the tray of eggplants. And then I took the ones, mostly, there's some that have germinated, but I took the ones mostly that haven't popped up yet or that are just barely popping up, and I put them on this end so that they can still sit on the germination mat. So I think that works out better. And I've already gone through and thinned some of these, some of them that had gotten, say, that height or whatever. I went ahead and thinned the second plants that had been there. So, but I had good germination rate with a lot of those. Down here are the ones I did in my little trays, and they've actually germinated really well in these trays, even better than the toilet paper holders, so I'm excited. These are the Atkinson tomatoes on this end, supposed to be very heat tolerant. I did 16 of those. In the middle, I have some sun sugar. It might be hard for y'all to read this on the camera, but this whole row is sun sugars. This row is the Engelhart yellow cherry tomatoes, and then towards the front, RMTT is the Robe Mountain Tommy Toe tomatoes. So you can see some of those have germinated. A couple of them haven't. I'm not worried about it because these that did, they only came up like last night. So towards the back there, I have the Sweetie variety of cherry tomatoes. Then up towards the front, I have the Kellogg's tomato right there. A little one kind of came up. It almost looks a little burnt, so I'm not sure about that one. But in front of it, another Kellogg's came up good. Then this is a VB Russian. This is a little pink Amish paste type tomato that I'm going to try to grow. This is going to be 2 of the VB Russians. And this is the Creole tomato right here. Right there is Black from Tula tomatoes. It's a little small black tomato that's supposed to be really good. And then at the back is the Paul Robeson. I've kind of went over what tomatoes I was going to grow, and I mentioned all of these, I think, But some of these up front, like the Kellogg's and the VB Russian, I may not have mentioned. But I decided what I wanted to do is I want to try some of these varieties. I have 100 varieties or so of tomatoes. So I can't just plant 3 or 4 a year and really experience all that I can with these tomatoes. So I'm going to just, you know, plug in a Paul Robeson here and there, plug in a Black from Tula, and just kind of see, you know, see where I can fit them in my garden so that I can start enjoying those tomatoes. Even if there may not be one that I have so much of, I can really sell a lot of or whatever, I can still enjoy them and give them to people and share them. Down here, I'm down on my knees now. Down here are my bell peppers. And you can see they're starting to come up. The B&B, that means bull nose bell. I think I got those from Seed Savers. The SH pimento, it's a pimento. Let's see, Marconi peppers. And I think, yeah, that's bullnose bells coming up. I think I have some nata pinos coming up. I just kind of put initials. The Ace means it's just a bell pepper I got from Ace Hardware. JNs or Jimmy Nardellos. And there's a Cubanelle coming up. There's some more Cubanelles that I have. They're not, well, yeah, this one's coming up. See, they're just starting to pop up today. And those are all Jimmy Nardellos. They haven't started coming up yet. But I have faith that they will. I'm excited. I know bell peppers can be a little challenging, and, you know, I'm no expert, so they're sure going to challenge me, I'm sure. So that's what I've got going right now. I have about 3/4 of a bag of seed starting soil left, and which is what you want to use to start these seeds with. I was tempted to mix it up, you know, and see what else I could start as soon as I could move these tomatoes off the germination mats. But I think I'm just going to close it, staple it, and save it. Because you never know if those kind of items are going to get kind of hard to find at the store. I don't want to overstart a bunch of plants that, you know, aren't really feasible for me to fool with right now. I know what I need to grow, to have enough to sell, and I think I've got plenty of that started. The rest would just be, you know, extra work and extra time, and it would be kind of maybe wasting some seeds and stuff. So I don't want to do that right now. I want to save all my potting mixes and potting soils that I can, just kind of save them, because I don't know, these last few days have really made a lot of people nervous. I'm not nervous and I'm not fearful. I personally want a lot of things to come out. I want a lot of things to be exposed. And I know that it may be hard times have to come in order for people to wake up to those things and in order for some type of justice to be done about them. So I'm not fearful and I'm not afraid. I'm just anxious because I'm in a mode of preparation. That's a lot of times that's why I can't get as much done as I want for my business every day, is because I'm also trying to do things for my own family. I have 3 grandchildren. You know, I have 2 surviving children, one that lives with us and then one that's fixing to move to Texas. And I love them so much and I worry about them, and I kind of lay awake all the time going through this checklist of what can I do to prepare to where there is a safe place that is supplied and ready and able to handle things coming, you know, that their young lives and all may not be ready to handle as much as my husband and I might be. So those things are on my mind a lot too. I try to juggle things and I try to give each enough attention, but there may be a time where there's probably something I need to go ahead and be doing in my garden, but I might choose to take that afternoon to, say, pressure can something or whatever. And I think that's just choices people are having to make right now. I'm trying to do the best I can with the time I have, with the finances we have, and with the blessings and the graces that God's given me, the talents, you know. And one of those talents has been to learn, to teach myself, to learn to put up food and things like that. And I encourage everybody to do it. This seed starting, this is completely new to me. I did try it a few years ago. Actually, that's typical for me, I forgot about them. I heard that you should wrap them with saran wrap and put them in the most like humid area that you could around your house. So I put them in my outdoor shed, and I meant to go out there and, you know, spray them every day and think about them and check them. And I didn't take the saran wrap off until they had already germinated and had come up a little bit, and then they all looked yellow and horrible, and they never really popped back. So, you know, for me to get this accomplished, to get this rack set up, to get these lights put on there, to drill those holes, to rig it up with that metal wire, to do all that kind of stuff, and to order the heat mats and get the heat mats in and get this done, to me, that has been a big learning thing for me. I feel accomplished. I am not embarrassed to say that I'm new to professional gardening. I'm new to thinking about food in terms of sales rather than just consumption and preservation. And I'm okay with that. You can learn with me as I go. I have accomplished something. I have now they're not out in my garden yet. And they're only about 1.5 inches tall. They're not, you know, the 7, 8, 9 inches tall they might end up being at the end, but they're growing, and I did it. I got them started. I've got them germinating, and they look good, and I'm so happy and so proud. Come along with me on my journey. As I learn, I'll try to teach as much as I can to you, but we can all learn together. Pray for our country. Pray for the people around the world. Pray for yourselves and your own family, and let's get ready and let's take care of everything. We got a job to do. This is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you want to, and I appreciate it. Bye-bye.